Yo, yo, man. I just finished James Tour versus Professor Dave Farina. They just had a debate, and let me just say something, man. Stop with the classic style of debate because the classic style of debate is trash. It's time to give debaters or force the debaters to actually show the information, and how you do that is the standard that I'm accustomed to in debating. Because if not, what happens is it will devolve into what we've seen between James Tour and Dave, aka Professor Dave, aka Dave Farina. The debate. Let me analyze it like this: one party was dealing with science, the other party was dealing with secular dogmatism. Let me put it like that. One party was a doctrinaire, and that party was Dave Farina. He was obviously a doctrinaire here, and he did invoke a lot of fallacies. One of the main fallacies he kept doing was ad hominem attacks. He kept attacking James Tour and kept calling him a liar, calling him a fraud, saying he was spewing bullshit. This is all fallacious. This has nothing to do with the topic. And for people that just got in, what they were debating was, are we clueless on the origin of life? And instead of addressing that question and addressing that head on, what we got from Dave Farina was what we got from Dave Farina was James Tour can't be trusted. He's a liar. He's a scumbag. He's full of shit. And he spews bullshit. Exactly. And you know what's funny about Dave Farina? Professor Dave, rather, at the end of the debate, because it just literally just concluded, someone asked him a question. And in doing so, he made the statement. And the statement was this: that this guy had a mountain of fallacies. And he said, name one. Bro, you kept doing the ad hominem fallacy. You kept invoking the ad hominem fallacy, right? And you had the nerve and audacity to claim that James Tour, Dr. James Tour, right, was Gish Galloping, which you don't know what Gish Galloping is because you were actually Gish Galloping. You were just throwing a bunch of things out there and not really taking into consideration the accuracy of your statements. And that's where James was really putting the whoop. And, you know what I'm saying? He was really smacking you around with the science. He was beating your ass with the science. You understand? And all you could do was say that he's a fraud. He's full of shit. And every time you would make a claim, he would refute your claim, read your paper, and tell you where you're wrong in that paper, and that paper is not exactly claiming or saying what you're saying it is. And then you'll say, see, he just gets galloping. No, he's explaining. He's demonstrating it. I am false. All you can do is call him a liar. Bro, this wasn't even close, man. This was not even close. You know what I'm saying? This debate wasn't even close. James Tour took the debate and he won because hold on. He won because he actually stuck to the topic and he was able to demonstrate his points. Dave Farina would just tell you that, hey, it is right because this paper says so. He didn't demonstrate why his position was correct. Right? He never demonstrated his position. All he did was flash a bunch of papers, flash a bunch of headlines, and say, "See, here's a ton of research proving that we can do this. That we're not clueless on this. Here's a ton of research." No, you can't just show the papers. It's just like when we deal with DNA. We don't just show you the title and say it was proven in this paper. No, we go read the paper. And we don't just show you the abstract. The abstract is just a summation of the paper, right? We dig and dive into the paper. He doesn't do that. He just says, it did happen, and here's 1,000 papers. That's gist galloping. And that brings me to my next point. That is another fallacy, right? That's another fallacy. That's called an appeal to authority. When you assume someone's actually correct or their information is definitive only because of their title and their position. Dave Farina repeated this throughout the night. His rounds were replete with this. And like I said, for someone says right here, James just yelled. Okay, well, tell me, what did Dave Farina do? What was James yelling? James was yelling the explanation and explication of the science. And he was yelling because this guy's calling him a liar and a fraud and all that other stuff. You know, I'm waiting on you, JT, to explain. You got the same initials as me. Explain to me what Dave Farina did tonight. Because all he did was invoke fallacies. I'm right because I got 1,000. I claimed that 1,000 papers is on my side. You didn't demonstrate anything. And you know what's so cold about it, bro? The cold part is you're talking about chemistry, right? When you're talking about prebiotic biology or chemistry, you're dealing with chemicals, you're dealing with chemistry. What the brother did, what James Tour did was wrote out and characterized chemistry on the board and just basically explain or proposed a challenge to Dave Farina. Could you explain how you can get these chemicals, how you can get these bonds, how do they couple in a prebiotic earth? I don't have to do that. I can just show you papers. That's the problem. You can't demonstrate any damn thing. So basically what you want people to do is what you were claiming James Tour and his followers are doing. Blindly follow you. This was a terrible debate for Dave Farina. You look sloppy. You really just showed up just to call him a liar and say he's bullshit. You didn't really demonstrate anything. You flashed a bunch of papers on there, which is cool. It might work for some people, but nah, man, not people that, you know, they got some kind of common sense. And some of those questions were just horrid. Downright horrid at the end. The question and answer is, will you denounce this thinking? How are you going to denounce thinking? People want to think what they think regardless of what you say to them, right? They're going to come to their own conclusion. Somebody, posed the question to James Tour that would you denounce the thinking of some of your followers that are using your research to say God exists? Would you denounce that? It's like they can think what they want to think. You guys are fascists. A lot of people that are materialists are leftist fascists, right? You want to control people's thoughts, and if they don't think the way you think, that's a cult, man. And it's so funny because the people that are supposed to be not religious sound like the religious fanatics. Shout out to James Tour, hibachi meal. Dave Farina got turned into a pack, bro. It was over with from the beginning. When he was able to characterize the chemistry and he posed that question to Dave Farina, and Dave Farina said, I don't have to write on the board. I don't have to explain it. That's what you're there for. You're supposed to give degrees of plausibility to your argument. You never did. You basically said, well, this paper says this. And every time James Tour would challenge you and show you that, well, actually that paper is not talking about it happening in water. And you'll bring a paper to reinforce what he's talking about. The surface protects RNA. Well, that's not in water. That's on Earth's surface, right? Which kills your own argument, right? We're still waiting on you, JT, to explain the argument of Dave Farina because he never explained any damn thing. He says, here's a paper. He flashed a paper on the screen. Here's a paper. He flashed 7, 8, 9, 10 papers. He didn't go into detail. He didn't say X, I'm reading this paper because X, Y, and Z, and that gives plausibility. And here's the problem with this classic debate style that should die. People should have presentation rounds. It should be about the information. This back and forth yelling at each other, right? Or going back, you bullshit, you a liar, you're a fraud, you're calling this person a fraud. That's an appeal to an emotion. That's another fallacy. You're rebel rousing the crowd and trying to say, oh, he's attacking my community. Again, you guys are the ones who sound like the religious fanatics. Dave Farina sound like the religious fanatic tonight. You're attacking my beloved leaders. Stop it. You can't criticize them. They humans. Everybody can be criticized. No one's above criticism, man. So anyway, it was a wash, man. James Tour all the way, all throughout the debate. I can't give Dave Farina one round. I really can't, man. I can't give him one round. And then an intelligent lady at the end posed a question to Dave Farina, and she pretty much got him. Like, you never showed a paper where there was the what was it? They brought up so much, man. I can't even remember everything, man. Maybe I'll do a live recap and watch the rounds live, and we'll discuss everything what happens. RNA, unprotected, and he went back to the paper saying, "Oh, the mineral earth could do it. It could protect RNA. It can protect it." Okay, that brings you back to the problem. This is not happening in water, which is where most of the abiogenesis believe life began. I know about the hydrothermal vent theory and all that stuff. Where life could have possibly began there. It's all in water, man. This is simple stuff. James Tour did a better job at explicating points and posing challenges to his opponent's view. All Dave Farina did was, no, actually it was proven. Not telling us how it was proven, just saying it was proven. Here's 1,000 papers. Believe me, Gish Gallop. This guy's a liar. Ad hominem. This guy is saying that all these scientists are frauds. That's rebel rousing. That's an appeal to emotion, man. There was not one time I was like, this is not even a scholastic debate at this point. This is just, oh, you said something bad about the people I agree with. That's all it was from Dave Farina's side, man. And that's why I brought up leftists, man. That's all you leftists do. This person shouldn't be able to say anything I don't agree with. Cancel him. Silence him. You're a liar. Bullshit. Nazarene Way says, those who lack belief in God sure do practice and those who lack belief in God sure do practice a heavily religious way of thinking. I know, man. They sound like they're in a cult, man. James Tour's a beast. Those guys sound like they're in a cult. And even after, Dave Farina proceeded to just, call this man out of his name and call him a fraud and saying his bullshit, constantly berating him. James Tour did the quote unquote Christian thing, and at the end, shook his head. Orthodox Moore says, "You doing a round by round breakdown or no?" I am going to do a round by round breakdown. I have the video. I go over each round. I point out each fallacy that was made because it's so funny. Dave Farina acts as if he's an angel and he did nothing wrong tonight. And all he did was ad hominem attack after ad hominem attack, Gish Gallop after Gish Gallop, appeal to authority after appeal to authority. That's all he did tonight, bro. Every round was the same. I'm gonna get on stage. I'm gonna tell everybody that he's a damn liar. He's full of shit. He's a fraud. And also, by the way, he's trying to call real scientists, that's a true Scotsman's fallacy. It was so many damn fallacies, bro. What the fuck, bro? You niggas is delusional, man. You guys are delusional, but this is what we see when your guy is on the other side of the chopping block. I try to watch these debates with no bias, bro. I don't care what side of the spectrum you're on. I'm going to try to pick the person who made the most succinct argument, right? And it's hard to have a succinct argument, a rational argument, when your rounds are riddled. I mean, completely riddled and replete with fallacious arguments. He said, bro, that's all they can do with abiogenesis. They got to source up. Bro, yeah, that's all you had to do. Dave Farina, all he had to do was get on stage, present the information, and that's why I hate this damn classic style of debating, as we call it, where somebody goes up there, pose a question, rapid fire, go back and forth for 20, 30, 40, 50 minutes. No, the audience is confused at that point because he can speak during his rounds. It should be 3 presentation rounds where the information is clean and clear, and there should be the opponent should be silent. If they break that rule, there should be repercussions to that, right? So people can get a clear synopsis of each argument. And even someone said that I'm still not clear on whether or not life is our understanding of the origin of life is clueless or not. I'm still not clear on that. You know why? Because the format. The format is largely to blame. But even in this broken ass format, I got James Tor clearly winning a body bag, man. It wasn't even close, bro. It wasn't even close. And then, Dave Farina is a charlatan too, because when when James Tor was actually doing science and he actually was writing and characterizing chemistry on the board, when he was actually showing the probability of, getting a protein fold, 10 to the 90th power, and explaining that that's how many molecules you have in the universe. And showing that that's not enough time. We don't have enough time, 14 billion years to do this. Like, we don't have enough time because the universe is less than 14 billion years old, right? So it's just all these concepts. And then Dave Farina was like, y'all just don't know. I know if you guys follow my channel, people do this all the time. Y'all just too dumb, and y'all don't understand the information he's providing. That's why he's wooed y'all. He's got this spell over y'all because he sounds like this. He knows what he's talking about. Y'all just don't understand it. It's the same conversation we have when it comes to DNA. And just because it's in a scientific paper does not make it definitive. And that's what Professor Dave was trying to, pull the wool over our eyes tonight. It's in the scientific paper. Scientists published it. Therefore, it's definitive. Again, that is the fallacy known as an appeal to an authority. Just because a professional or someone in that field said it, then it must be true. No. That's irrational. Scientists are humans too. They can be wrong too. You treat these people like they're gods or they're angels or something. Hey, they did have presentation. They had one presentation round more, but the chalkboard segment was, listen, James Tor he owned the stage, bro. He owned the stage. You can complain about him yelling, complain about your boy calling him out of his name. You understand? I'm from the P's. You ain't gonna talk to me like that. Period. Right? But that's why y'all do it, because y'all trying to get a reaction out of him. That's why you call him out his name 1,000 times, because you want him to get out of his body. You want him to snap. That's why I learned that a long time ago. Somebody gonna say certain things trying to trigger you to act irrational or do something to them or beat the shit out of them. You understand? And I applaud James Tor. You held your ground. You didn't really fall for the okie dokie, even though you were streaming on him. And I don't have a problem with James Tor streaming on Dave Farina, because Dave Farina was talking out of his neck. And he was talking to him. This is an old man. Like, this brother has tenure in his field, and you talking to him like he ain't shit. You got me fucked up. How many people would have stood and took that? So I got to applaud James Tor for not falling into the trap. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know if his family members was in the audience, because if my family was in the audience, you doing all that, debate over. Debate canceled. Debate these hands. That's what's going to happen to you. So instead of, trying to, throw out all these damn ad hominems and personal attacks, right? Watch your mouth, be respectful, and respect him as the man he is, regardless of ideological differences. We have an issue. And I'm gonna be honest with you more. I'm gonna be honest with you. That was a nigga debate, bro. That was a nigga debate. That shit was out of order, bro. He says, "Look, it's looking like Indiana, Detroit." Yeah, I mean, look, bro, tables is getting turned over, chairs are getting thrown. You understand? All because you don't know how to watch your damn mouth, and you're doing it on purpose because you want to get that reaction out of somebody to say, see how these Christians act? That's why you doing it. But if somebody did go on your mouthpiece, ain't nobody gonna feel sorry for you. Learn how to watch your mouth and respect your fellow man, no matter what they believe in. You intolerant leftists. That's how y'all are. Y'all want to just cancel and shut everybody down if they think differently than you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Tor. Yeah, of course, Tor, man. Tor is Tor, bro. He one of them guys, man. Shout out to Tor. Shout out to that's the bro. And he been putting in that work. The reason why they don't like James Tor is because they feel like, oh, if they attack, here's another fallacious argument by Dave Farina. If they attack Abiogenesis, that's because they're trying to support God. It's a God of the gaps argument. All I gotta say is, okay, if abiogenesis indeed happened the way y'all say it happened, that was a mechanism used by God. It does not eliminate God. It does not prove God or disprove God. You dudes are dumb. You dudes are dumb. Someone could easily be like, okay, well, that's the mechanism God. That's how God did it. You know, when we're invoking a creator or a materialistic world, this only exists in thought. You can't prove or disprove this stuff. It's a battle of the minds. That's all it is. You can't prove that we have a complete materialistic origin. You can't prove that. You can't prove that we have a divine entity coming down. There is no direct proof to that. We can only make inferences. Yeah, that's all we can do. You ain't got a time machine. I don't own a time machine, and our scientific advances have not advanced far enough to even see what happened thousands, let alone millions, let alone billions of years ago. We can only make an inference to the best explanation. That's all you can do. Oh, well, if you say abiogenesis happened, that's a God of the gaps. And you know what else is funny about this debate, man? And everyone who invokes God of the gaps, if you say anything against my beloved leaders, you're a God of the gaps. That's God of the gaps. What's so funny about that is you guys assume everything, because that's what God of the gaps is. Oh, assume God did it if you see a gap in our understanding. That's what y'all do with everything in your materialistic view. Oh, we have a gap in our understanding. Well, material, all we have is materials. All we have is matter and energy. So matter and energy did it by itself. Oh, when he asks you where does information come from? Oh, in cells, in the nucleus. Then you got the chicken and egg problem. So the information come first, or the nucleus? No, the nucleus just already had it. You just assume that it happened. How do you know that? Because we're here. We got brains. We got bodies. So it had to happen. That's you filling in the gaps with your belief. And it's so funny is you act like there is no gaps. So okay, we understand. No, there's gaps. You're doing the same shit that you claiming that religious people do. You're no different. That's the fun. You're no different. You are the people you complain about. You're even more extreme than Christians, because you guys want to go so far to cancel whole groups, tell them what they can and cannot publish because they go against what you identify with. That's what we're seeing with this whole gender identity crisis shit. Since you got a few people in America that has a lot of power and influence, unfortunately, now the scientific community got to tuck their tail on what a male and a female is. This is ideologically led. This is not led by the evidence. And that's one clear example. And that's what James Tor was saying when he said, oh, why won't you post your papers in the scientific forum? Okay, I'm going directly against the scientific forum. What you think going to happen? They're going to boot my paper out of there. They're not going to approve my paper. Come on, man. These people are still humans. Just because they're scientists and they're post-grads or whatever you want to call them, right? You know what I'm saying? Doctors and PhDs. Does not mean they're not human. I swear you guys deify these people so much, man. But that's why someone like James Tour will come in and destroy a Dave Farina, because again, all they're going to do is regurgitate and not explain anything and explicate not one thing. You're going to learn more from James Tour in this debate than Dave Farina. Dave Farina is just pretty much telling you, bow down to the powers that be. Right? And James Tour was like, okay, actually, if you examine these papers, none of this shit is plausible. If not most, not most, if not all, excuse me. You know what I'm saying? And you know, that's why in my community, whatever community I want to place me in, I don't get along with a lot of people, because you see the same thing with different groups. You see this with Israelites. You see this with atheists. You see this with Afrocentrics. This same attitude. You're not here to debate your argument. You're here to tell people you're dumb, you're stupid. You know what I'm saying? You're an idiot, and you need to follow my guy. You need to follow my people. You need to follow my ideology, because my ideology is the shit, and your ideology is bullshit. That's all you're doing. You're not even presenting the information. And I done brought this out 1,000 times. You never make a rational argument for your claim. You just tell people. We had a debate where somebody says, if you don't believe the flood happened, then you going to hell, pretty much, in a nutshell. That's a damn fallacy, man. Y'all don't know how to construct arguments. That's the problem. Y'all do not know how to construct arguments. You don't know how to effectively argue your point. Right? This is why you get people in the comments saying, oh, you only got 5 viewers. Okay, I got 5 viewers. Now, can you tell me why you think Dave Farina won? You can't. You guys can't construct arguments to save your own ass, man. And that's all these communities, especially the online communities, man. It's all about your feelings and how y'all should just go back to the question and answer moment and listen to this one guy that basically was just upset that people have the audacity to believe in a God, or have the audacity to use James Tour's work to infer that there was a God. You should denounce their thinking. How the fuck do you denounce thinking? That's some Nazi fascist shit right there. Listen to how crazy these people sound coming out of some of these universities. Denounce their thinking. What? Oh yeah. Tor ain't going nowhere. Tor be, he'll say it, there's gonna be a breakdown on his channel about everything that occurred tonight. Trust and believe that, man. Trust and believe that. You know what I'm saying? What else I noticed in the debate, man? Yeah, like I said, Dave Farina just had a bunch of fallacies, invoked a bunch of fallacies. Appeal to authority was one of them. Appeal to emotion was another one. What was in ad hominems? He was doing a lot of ad hominems. And, it showed a lack of the understanding of the topic when the topic was, what was being attacked by James Tour was that all of this stuff is supposed to happen in water. Abiogenesis is supposed to happen in water. You get your ribosomes, protein folds, and all that other good stuff, right? I'm not a chemist, but you can basically grasp that that's his argument. And then you quote a paper that's not even dealing with water, it's dealing with earth, right? It's dealing with it just shows that you're the novice in the conversation, and we clearly can see who's the chemist in the conversation. I mean, that was just clear as day. Dave Farina didn't win one round. Dave Farina, you did bad. You sucked. All you did was go up there and call him names, and that's not scholarly. That's not scholarship. You got your ass whooped. You just got your ass whooped. I mean, that's my opinion, man. I know James Tour, they're not gonna talk like that, right? That camp is not the quote unquote Christian, right? They're not gonna speak to you like that. I will say shit like that, man. You were trash. Nazarene of the Way says you form your point by testing and eliminate the traces of fallacy and bias in it. Understand the information surrounding the point with the basic where, when, who, why, what, and how. I mean, this should be very simple. I don't know why this is difficult for people, and I'm disappointed because I thought I was going to see, this is happening at Rice University or college or whatever. You got Professor Dave, this internet scientific personality, and then you got Dr. James Tour. That sounds like this is going to be like next level stuff, and I felt like this happened in Oak Cliff. I felt like this was an event that happened in Oak Cliff. Shout out to 214. Shout out to Dallas. So, did this happen in the P's? I'm like, come on, man. This was kind of ghetto, bro. The way it was conducted, they were able to talk over each other. I didn't like none of that, man. That just didn't sit well with me. Again, what's the point of even having this conversation or having a debate if both parties cannot have rounds structured where they both get presentations throughout the entirety of the debate and just have one question and answer segment? That's it. But the whole damn debate was a question and answer segment. I didn't like that, man. That just poor taste. It came off to me as ghetto. No moderators didn't jump in, when pretty much character assassination was happening on James Tour. Yeah, James Tour yelling and turning up on the nigga because look how you talking to him. But that would never happen if you had a better structured debate. You understand? Just because it's in the college doesn't mean it's going to be better structured. That was terrible as far as the format and the structure goes. Nazarene also says, and look for the points which cement both those three portions by defending and or polemically attacking the other's fallacy and bias in the argument. That's how I was taught to debate. Yeah, man, that's an excellent way to debate. Um, when you're debating, you're supposed to do it on the information. And here's the thing: I'm not a Professor Dave hater. I like his work on flat Earth, going against flat earthers. I think it was he did an excellent job at breaking down the science and physics of Earth, globe Earth, versus the idea of a flat Earth. Those videos are phenomenal and they have millions of views. And I think it's well deserved. So no one hates, I'm not hating on Professor Dave. I'm just saying, to be honest, Professor Dave, in tonight's debate, you were the flat earther. You were the flat earther. You pretty much was the flat earther tonight, man. You were just terrible, man. You were horrible tonight. Professor Dave is only a title. He's not academic at all. He just found a niche on YouTube. Yeah. I know he doesn't have the credentials of a Dr. James Tour. But that just shows you the character of Dr. James Tour. Like, even, which was a smart move because Tor wants to reach more people. And what better way to do that than getting, a YouTube sensationalist like Professor Dave, get on the same platform as him, duke it out, and, generate traction that way. So I'm not mad at the move, but yeah, like, come on, man. We what we doing here? You a doctor. This dude is a sensationalist on YouTube. And he does make great content. Again, I'm not poo-pooing on what he got going. I think he does make great content. Again, I'm a big fan of his attack on the flat Earth theory. I think he did a great job on doing that as well. But I just think on this topic, you bit off a little bit more than you could chew. Not a little bit, a lot more, man. Your eyes are bigger than your stomach. You got thrashed. You got thrashed. And some of the arguments that you were making, it was like, I can't believe this guy that claims to, be so in tune with science. But again, this is not even about, empirical data at this point. This is just about, I have an ideology, I have a belief system. I don't want you saying anything about that belief system. If you say something about it, shut the fuck up. That's it. You know, that's the attitude I get from Dave. And here's the thing about it, man. I was seeing a lot of qualities that I have in Dave tonight and on other videos as well. The way you do your comment sections, you cuss people out of your comment. I was like, oh shit, you kind of reminded me of my damn self. That's how I can get it. I can get on your case and grill you the way I'm grilling you because you on some bullshit, right? You on some bullshit. Nazarene of the Way says, yeah, he did what Tor did to him, to the flat earthers. Hence why you can clearly tell he came into this with cognitive dissonance. He didn't check at the door. Yeah, exactly, bro. Exactly. Tor, what he did to the flat, what he did to the flat earthers is essentially what Tor did to him. Tor was like, listen, you don't understand the science, you don't understand the chemistry. I'm going to show you the chemistry. I'm going to write it out. And I want you to explain how does your model work with this chemistry. You understand? That's basically how he approached the flat earthers. He showed the physics. He showed, things like angular momentum and stuff of that nature and positions of stars and how people, in Australia could see a certain star or, certain stars or whatnot, structures in the sky, but people in the north can't. It was just different arguments like that, just showing scientifically that, hey, your theory is very, like, it's not even plausible. That's basically what Tor is doing today. Like, he turned you into a flat earther, bro. He showing the whole community that you really are no different than a flat earther, right? You're just gonna believe this crazy and absurd stuff with little to no proof. That's what he was showing you, that, hey, we are clueless on abiogenesis. And then you get the numbskull. What's his name? Aaron Ra. I know y'all guys know him. Aaron Ra, guy that argues for evolution all the time. And what kills me is this: saying you're pro-evolution or against evolution is not an argument for or against God. Same thing about abiogenesis. Saying you for abiogenesis or against abiogenesis is not an argument against or for God. But these guys treat it like that because they're the religious Nazis on the internet, bro. Think about it. He went up there and said, "Oh, if we go, to this geological time scale, we know there were no animals, and then we know there were no cells. Like, so we know it had to happen." And James Tor was like, "I'm not arguing that. I know that immaterial became material. The argument, dummy, is, are we clueless about how it happened? Are we clueless about abiogenesis? Not whether or not it happened or not. You guys are dumb. You guys are dumbasses. That's the problem. Since y'all want to throw all these ad hominems, Dave Farina, like I said, I see a lot of qualities of mine in you, right? You a dumbass, dude. That's not, the argument is, are we clueless about that event, how it happened? Tor says, yes, we are. Dave pretends like we're not. And how he does it is he just flash a bunch of papers in your face. See, this paper says it did. No. It's the same thing. If you guys follow my channel, I talk about E1, B1A, bond to expansion, the language phylums and stuff of that nature. Papers say that this happened, but those are all inferences. Oh, this happened 5,000 years ago. Inference. The language structure started 5,000 years ago. Inference. That's not definitive proof. Because it's in a paper does not make it definitive proof, Dave. It does not make it definitive proof. That just means a scientist or a group of scientists, usually a team of scientists, characterize their research into a paper. That's it. Does not mean you guys treat that stuff like it's divine, that it came straight from a higher power or something, man. It's crazy. I think your brother said it earlier, scientism. Nerdy Bruce said the atheist monkey lover, Amin Ra. Yeah. That guy's, like, the question, it was so damn dumb. I know he should feel stupid for even saying that. Nazarene of the Way says, right, basic systems by flowchart that we know have validity to them, just as chemistry uses systems of process that are solidified. The atheist guy who got bodied years ago by that one Christian creationist, right? Yeah, and I don't know who he debated, man. I don't know. He probably be smacking on, smacking Christians up. I don't know. I don't really watch his material. I just know of him. I've seen atheists destroy a creationist. I've seen it. They did it with a good argument though. They didn't go in there and just call them names. They didn't go in there. They had science on their side. They were explaining empirical evidence and data. They were elucidating the information. They weren't just saying, and there's a crazy part about this. He claims, acquiesce to the scientists of the field when James Tor is literally a scientist in the field, and you sit up and say, he doesn't know how to read this paper. Clearly, he knows more than you, bro. Like I tell people all the time, I ain't got to know it all. I just got to know more than you. I let everybody know that I'm challenging to a debate. I don't have to know it all. I just got to know more than your dumb ass. That's all I got to do, bro. And I know I got the victory in the bag. I know I'm going to body you, man. When it comes to understanding the field of chemistry, that goes to James Tour, hands down. You lost before it even started because you cannot go toe to toe with him. That's why you did not go to that board. So you tried to play antics to get around that when he asked you to explain to him on the board how do you get these what was it, ribosomes or sugars, something like that, to couple in a prebiotic earth. You didn't even raise that chalk one time. No, I'll just go to the papers because you know you cannot do it. He can characterize it. You can't because he's the PhD. He's the doctor here. You're not. He's the chemist. You're not. You're a YouTube sensationalist. That's it. And that showed tonight, man. Your rounds were pathetic. Your rounds were I don't even know how to explain what you did tonight. That shit was embarrassing. Jay, you all off topic. I don't even know what this got to do with James Tour going against Dave Farina. What do you think about Slavic Kingdom? I don't know what that is, man. Nazarene of the Way says, so smart, they stupid. Or as the Bible says, professing themselves to be wise, they become fools. Listen, man, it don't have nothing to do with someone's intellectual level. It just, see, this is beyond, how smart someone is or how dumb someone is, even though I don't call them dumbasses, whatever. I'm doing that in jest. It's all about your worldview. They have a worldview. And they feel like if anyone challenges that worldview, then they are just like the church of the old, the Catholics of the old, right? They're hell-bound. They're all these negative things that are going. You have the audacity to go against their belief system. Yeah. Watch it, bro. But it is kind of, man, not kind of. That shit was ghetto, bro. The whole debate was ghetto. The structure was ghetto. Anybody, James Tour was yelling. He yells all the damn time. He's very passionate about what he's saying. He really attacks the information. That's the thing. He attacks the information. Oh, he called you clueless. Yeah, you are clueless. Nazarene says the debate starts with the topic before the actual sit down happens. You could tell who the debate favors off the topic alone. Too many Christians concede topics to atheists all the time. I don't even think it's that. So I think Christians are religious believers or whatever we want to say, believers in God. Where they mess up is what's the best way of putting this? They try to debate the way they preach. They preach absolutes. They treat like an axiom or something that cannot be broken. You can't debate like that, right? Because you're going to go in there and not explain any of your points or try to make it logical at all. You're just going to go in there and state your claims and say, well, it's true because God said it, or it's true because this scientist said it. Well, okay, how did you come to that conclusion? Why is it true? Like I was trying to explain to some debaters a couple weeks ago, you need to write your topic as a question, and every slide is answering that question. That way, every slide is a punch. Every slide is getting straight to the gusto, right? Getting straight to it. No bullshit, no BS, straight dope, right? Right? This product ain't been stepped on. If you write the topic out as a question and every slide addresses that question, you will have a better chance in the debate. The nerdy Bruce says the fine-tuning argument is the best basis for a creator. Fine-tuning argument. Yeah, I mean, we could say that atheist, material, or not even an atheist, because we keep using it's really a materialist. Because a materialist is someone who's going to say that there's nothing on the earth. There's not. Well, I guess a materialist would be an atheist, but y'all know what I'm saying. I like to get down to nitty gritty. There's nothing but matter and energy. There's nothing but matter and energy. That's it. There is nothing outside of that. There's nothing outside of the universe. There's nothing outside of what we can see or what we can measure. Right? So they would say, well, the fine tuning is a product of, matter and energy, and that's it. There's nothing else to explain it. And they will say, because there is no God. Right? There is no evidence of no God. We can see atoms. Well, we know atoms exist. We can see material. We can see matter. We know energy exists. We don't know God exists. Therefore, God is fake, and fine tuning could just be explained away as an anomaly that happens in our universe. And they even going so far as saying, "Oh, it's multiple universes, and we're the universe that got it right." So you have theories that try to explain it from a materialistic standpoint. You can do that because it's just a battle of words. That's all you're doing. You're battling ideas. You're just battling ideas, and we're trying to say, okay, this one is more plausible to me. That's all you're doing. But when you get religious people like Dave Farina, right, are all across the board, you got Christians that are very, very, very devoutly religious. It becomes more than that. It becomes more than an explanation. It's a hell and heaven discussion. And that's how both sides treat it. That's why y'all don't have any business debating. That's why. You can't remove your emotion from it. You can't remove this idea that someone's going to go to hell if they don't agree with you, or someone's just, intrinsically false if they are bad, or a bad person, or a fraud if they don't agree with you. You can't remove that from the equation. So therefore, you shouldn't be fucking debating. You debate with your emotions. That's your problem. Nazarene says, exactly, preaching is not the same as academic discussion. It's not. Because again, preaching just means to proclaim. You're just up there making proclamations. And I keep saying affirmation is not confirmation. Tonight, Dave Farina was the one making a bunch of affirmations. Or reading about other people making affirmations. That's not proof. That's an uphill battle. Everybody knows abiogenesis. Everybody with a working brain understands that abiogenesis is something that we are clueless about. We don't know much about it. We don't know how life started. That's why you have these multiple theories. That's why he kept saying, "Oh, there's so many ways it could have happened." That means you're clueless. There's so many ways. If it's so many ways it can happen, Dave, we're clueless. We don't know exactly how it happened. And you even said that. That's the argument. Nazarene's other way says who, where, when, and what, how. Most questions are in the end dealing with the same critical thinking skills they taught us in the grade school, right? But that goes out the window when you're trying to push your ideology in a debate. A debate is not for you to push your ideology. The debate is for you guys to make a rational argument for whatever ideology or worldview or whatever you guys are talking about. You just going up there to spread your dogma is bullshit. Nazarene of the Way says Paul didn't speak as a Hebrew to the Greek philosophers. He quoted the philosophers. He didn't appeal to the law of Moses to Gentiles. He appealed to the pre-Mosaic fundamentals of morality they agree with. Yeah. He knew how to move, man. He knew how to move. And in different groups, different pockets, you got to move a certain way, man. You're not going to bring that same energy, or same information, or same style to every group. I just think it's just unfortunate that you have so many debates, so many on different levels, look like ghetto trash, look like a hood fight about to happen. Like, y'all gotta clean this shit up, man. This is not good TV, bro. This is not good TV, man. Rice University, whoever was whoever structured that shit, man, y'all need y'all ass kicked. Y'all need to get fired or something, man. Something y'all gotta go back to the drawing board. Don't ever do no shit like that again, man. Allow both debaters to present information, presentation, and they go through the information, unabated, not interrupted, right? All this talking over each other, both parties were guilty of it tonight. That didn't sit right with me, bro. I just left a bad taste in my mouth, man. But like I said, man, a quick recapitulation. Dave Renner spent most of his time ad humming. I mean, he just used ad hums over and over again, and appealing to authority. True Scotsman's fallacy, and he was just galloping, even though he claimed James Tour was, when James Tour was not really just throwing a bunch of things out there. He was explaining himself. You were throwing a bunch of shit out there. Everything you was like trying to make stick and apply, the accusations you was levying towards James Tour actually applied to yourself tonight. Shit was crazy. Anyway, James Tor made you look like a flat earther, man. You died tonight. Rest in peace. Professor Dave Shirt's gonna come up on the site tomorrow. Hey, James Tor, if you happen to come across my video, man, you won. But don't ever go into no debate structure like that again. At least give yourself 3 presentations. And what you need to do is make some merch and start making some money off your victory. Go ahead and start selling Dave Farina dies tonight. RIP, rest in peace, Mortuary Dave gang, or whatever. Hit your boy up, and I got you. Hibachi, we out.